Gerrit, just how do you kind of wrap your head around that fifth inning?
Yeah, it was just a wild inning. They made it tough on us. Just kept putting the ball in play and grinding out pitch after pitch. It felt almost, at the end of it, almost felt like a win to just, not really give up the lead and, be in a position to keep going. So, boy, that was a tough one, though.
Gerrit, how hard overall is this for you and your teammates, considering what the ultimate goal was and not having a chance to get there?
Yeah, this is like as bad as it gets. It's like kind of the, it's the worst feeling that you can have, especially because, you have to keep, sometimes willing yourself to believe and to give yourself a chance. And, you just keep pushing. And, ultimately we came up short, and it's brutal.
What was your impression of what happened at first base on the play?
Yeah, I think I took a bad angle to the ball. I wasn't sure really off the bat how hard he hit it. I took a direct angle to it as if to cut it off because I just didn't know how hard he hit it. And by the time the ball got by me, I was not in a position to cover first. So neither of us were, based on the spin of the baseball and him having to secure it and just a bad read off the bat. So,
Gerrit, you guys were leading 5-0. You were pitching a no-hitter. Everything was going in your favor, and then it all unraveled. Is it hard to comprehend how quickly that happened?
It's baseball. I think, it's a tough inning, but I don't, sometimes, I guess it is a little hard to comprehend, but at the same time, I feel like we come in the dugout and we're like, wow, but we're still in the ball game. So, I think in this situation, I think you just got to get, Freddie did they did a great job on a handful of pitches. They put the ball in play. And in baseball, you put the ball in play, you get rewarded for it sometimes. But they were just so relentless in their approach. And they won a lot of pitches that inning. But when it was all said and done, the game was still in front of us with a chance to win. And, so we just, we didn't get it done. So.
When you think back to that ground ball by Mookie, is there anything else you could have done differently, or was the spin so confusing that you had to do what you did?
I guess it's tough to say for me right now. I guess my angle should be a little more aggressive to first base to give myself a chance to continue through the bag if I don't get the ball. But I just didn't read the ball well.
Gerrit, what can you tell to those fans who were there since day number 1 until the last day?
The fans were amazing. Specifically tonight, having them behind us, giving us energy to get out of that inning and giving us energy to keep going. We play for each other. We play for our organization. We play for our fan base. That feeling of togetherness, that feeling of everybody behind us there's no greater feeling in the world. So we're as players just super appreciative for all the investment that the fans make.
Gerrit, 5 days of free agency is going to start very soon, and everyone's going to be watching Juan Soto. Can you imagine the lineup without him after seeing him do what he did this year? He just fits so well.
Yeah, he had a fantastic year, and it was just a real steady Eddie presence for us, and just brought so many great qualities to our club. He's really earned this opportunity. Going forward in the next 5 days, and so on a personal level, but I'm excited for him, and he's done everything he can, so he's earned the right to make that choice. So.
Can you put into words the abruptness of the end of the season, especially at this point?
I can't really put it into words. Yeah.
Gerrit, does anything raise the level of frustration, whatever the right word is, that in game one in this game, plays not made maybe on defense is the difference between you guys still playing and potentially being ahead?
I mean, yeah, I'm. It's tough. I don't evaluate it like that, Like I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, maybe I'm still fresh in the mode of like, you just keep plugging along. As a player, if there's a mistake on the field, you try to look at it as an opportunity to pick somebody else up. So, you're never really going to play perfect baseball all year, and you're going to have to overcome mistakes, and certainly everybody makes mistakes. So if you buy into taking care of your teammates and trying to pick them up in those situations, like you just always keep giving yourself a chance. So it's just, you got to just keep moving forward. So that's kind of where I'm still at right now.
Gerrit, on that topic, you're right on the edge of getting out of a very tough situation. You strike out 2 guys, and you get a very weak kick out ball there. I just wonder how you feel about being that close to getting out of such a tough spot and still shut out and control.
Yeah, it's super tough. Super tough. But. I mean, at that point, I'm just like, well, I just keep making pitches, and I just did. I just kept making pitches. I was totally exhausted, and but there's just no quit in that situation. You got to just keep pressing forward. So.
Is that inning going to stick with you for a while? Say that again. Is that inning going to stick with you for a while into the off season? Thinking about that.
Probably, yeah. It was a tough inning. It was a tough inning, but yeah. I mean, it didn't. We didn't give up the lead. I mean, the game's still tied. I mean, what I'm saying? Like, you just, as a player, you're just like, well, you get through this 5th or 6th inning, game's tied in the World Series. Like, you're in a good spot to win the game. Like, you got a shot. So. I gave it everything I had, So I'll be frustrated like every time you have a tough loss. You use it to motivate you, but it's all out there. So there's nothing a whole lot more that I could do. I gave it everything I had.
Do you think you righted it when you came off? When you came off in the 7th, standing ovation, you guys had a lead 6-5. Do you think you guys got past it? At that point?
No, you never. It's a lot of ball game left. That's how you just try to approach it. As if you got to just keep going and not look too far ahead.
Aaron Boone just talked about feeling heartbroken in the press conference room. Just how do you describe him as your manager? He's been your only manager.
Yeah, I mean, he's steady Eddie for us. Such a personable, lovable human being, and. Yeah, I mean, we're all heartbroken, So, I mean, he's feeling it, we're feeling it. It's a tough night.
You describe him as steady Eddie. Just how do you? What is that like?
Just like even keel, It brings a presence. He's been there before, and it brings a presence. He backs up his players, takes care of his players, and so that's what you want to play for in a manager.
All season long, you guys talked about what a great group this team is, and some have said it's one of the best teams in terms of personalities that they've ever played on. When you come this close, as first time as a group, how much fuel does it give you to just go at one more time, and how much do you want to see this group stay together?
Yeah, I mean, you build a special bond with the players that you'll really never forget. I think in the end, as tough as it is, and as bad of a feeling as it is, it's something that will make everybody in this room a little bit better. It's unfortunately sucks having to learn from it, but I mean, that's the opportunity you have going forward, is that you can use this experience to better yourself.